Happy Halloween! Super
Yay!
topical. I
Yes.
see you're dressed up. How are
Yes,
you
I'm
doing
so
with
dressed up.
your outfit today?
Yeah, in my Ethereum shirt. I mean, most of my t-shirts are
I
either
need to get
mental
one of
health
those.
or Ethereum related.
Yeah, I'm surprised they don't have any Ethereum gear, Ethereum. I've got my mental health stuff. I made this vest. I got my shirt,
Nice.
but yeah, I should have dressed up like one of the Blue Men or something. The Blue Man Group. I come in with a blue
Yeah.
face.
Yep.
but but how have you been doing since last time we spoke, man?
I've been okay. I There was some sadness and depression that's been felt. But it's been pretty peaceful too. And last couple of days been less of that, more peacefulness. And I kind of feel more sentimental, if you will. I would watch some TV show or some other situation in life, talk to somebody, and it would I would have some tears, and I would feel like my nervous system is relaxing with that. As the tears go, then there is some relaxation. So it's pretty awesome to see that.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about actually, because I'm very like emotional guy. I cry a lot.
That's
It's
awesome.
like I think it's yeah, and I think as men we get this thing in our heads where we're not allowed to cry or something. And I mean, I wouldn't suggest people like overdo it in terms of like indulging and dwelling too much, but if you do, it's fine. I mean, I don't see the big deal, honestly.
Yeah, I think it's very natural. I mean, it used to be very suppressed in me, so it used to be very hard for me to cry, but that changed, and it kind of became so much easier.
Were you raised that way, like where you weren't supposed to cry and stuff? Because a lot of us boys are.
Maybe, probably, I don't remember. Somehow it got this human got programmed in that way, and then it
Yeah.
would be in one of two states. Not crying, or if it was crying, it was painful because there was so much resistance to that. It was difficult. And now, when there's crying, it's actually so fucking enjoyable. There is so much relaxation in that.
Yeah, it's like it wants to come out, and we're stopping ourselves from having this kind of experience that it's like we think that by not digging into it, we're actually like saving ourselves from that, but it's making it like well worse or whatever we want to call it. But it makes it more like we kind of were texting at the point like it makes it the suffering. That's what creates suffering. It's not like
Yeah.
it's not
Any
naturally
emotion,
painful.
any emotion being blocked, really, that's the suffering, right? It's not the emotion itself. It's not like because of these circumstances we have this emotion and that's suffering. No, it's more like the reaction. Somehow, the reaction of the nervous system is suboptimal, and it's like not able to process the emotion, and it's so suffering, if you will, is self-created, and knowing that of zero absolute use because it's not like changeable. It's This is how it works sometimes.
Yeah. What does your depression feel like? I'm always curious what it feels like for everyone else. I know like mine very well.
Yeah, when it's strong, then it's very like uh, like it squeezes me, and it's kind of hard for me to get up and do things and whatnot, or at least to do some of the things. So that's one aspect of this, and then um, there's a twinge of despair and hopelessness to that, and thoughts kind of come up like, oh, this is useless, this is meaningless, and yeah, I mean, it's useless and meaningless, but yeah, so what? Yeah, and it's rarely intense. It's more melancholic, if you will.
Yeah, mine that sounds different than mine, but similar. Like mine like almost physically hurts sometimes. It's not a competition, obviously, but like I don't want it to seem like that. well,
No,
I
no,
think
no,
people
no.
get caught in
My
that.
depression is so much more intense, man.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't want to seem like that. But like, I think I notice mine at nighttime more. It's almost like I don't know. It's almost like a daily routine. I think it's around like everything like dies down for the day or something, and then there's like nothing happening, and then it's like all the thoughts I have revolve around like, oh, like there's nothing happening, or you're alone, or like whatever. There's nothing to do, and I don't know if it's like boredom or depression or what. So it's kind of confusing. But it always hits more at nighttime recently. Ever since I got sober, it's like more of a nighttime related thing instead of like a general melancholy or like a malaise or
Hmm.
something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It used to be that. So
And it
yeah,
changes, like because when we think about this, we remember a particular moment, right? And the brain can also tells us, oh, this is how it was all the time, but not really, right? Because when you were talking to somebody, maybe you were with your dog, maybe you were taking a walk outside, maybe you were painting, and each moment was different, right? And then the brain kind of simplifies it into the story. Oh, I was so depressed for so long, blah, blah, blah.
yeah, for sure. It does that story creeps in here a lot. Like, oh, I'm better now, or I'm like, or I
Right.
was worse.
Of course.
Right?
I
And it
did
doesn't. It's
well,
all bullshit.
I have improved, and then, it'll keep improving. Well, and, the answer to that is maybe, right? Maybe it will be there will be less
Yeah.
sadness, or maybe there will be some more again, like, and you don't really know.
That's part of what makes it worse is that comparison. It's like me going, "Oh, I'm better now," and then it hits, and you're like, "Oh shit, this is so
Right.
much worse than I convinced myself it was like 2 hours ago." And then it's like
Right.
really nothing's changed. I think for me a little bit, it's like I'm kind of writing a new story in my mind for what reality is on a daily basis. Whereas before, I had this sort of like a whole different like view of the world based around kind of being high all the time or like whatever, getting drunk or something. Yeah. So
Nice.
it's kind of easy to when you're always high, it's like easy to think that you're happy or something, and you're just escaping. There's no like you're not happier or something. You might have like more serotonin or dopamine or like whatever at the moment or something, but like the subscribing to the idea of what it's bringing you, I think is all bullshit regardless.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, in my
Um,
experience with any kind of mind altering stuff is like you can borrow, if you will, feeling better for a little bit, but you kind of borrowed from the future, and then the stuff will come back and will might get even worse, right? So you cannot kind of run away from what you feel, yeah, even though you will keep trying,
yeah.
no doubt.
Oh yeah. I mean, even like in this discussion already, I found myself trying to analyze certain parts of myself and how I react to life and the framing I put around it. And that's just another form of like, just like running from admitting the fact that I get sad a lot and I'm also happy a lot. And it's like, you know,
And my answer, right? Why the fuck not? And I mentioned to you a
yeah,
couple of days ago that I was feeling sad, and I appreciate you reached out and you wanted to support me, and thank you for that. But also,
yeah,
for me, it was not like it doesn't feel something like that's wrong and has to be changed. So it's not like,
yeah,
oh my god, how do I change it? It's so bad. It's more like, oh, okay, sadness. It kind of sucks, and
yeah.
sometimes it's kind of a little bit debilitating, and sometimes this and that. But it's also very peaceful. Yeah.
Yeah, it's I know what you mean. And I think for me it's like my instinct like when I was a kid and somebody would get hurt, I was like the guy that would like bring them a band-aid or like try to like fix their wound or like wipe the blood
Right.
off of their arm or something. Like
Right.
it's always like
Because
trying to
we
like
feel empathy, right? And then what we feel,
yeah.
we kind of try to fix it by fixing the other person, right? So yeah. So maybe, as I mentioned
Yeah,
my
and I think
sadness
some of
to
it's
you, right,
still
that reminded you of your own sadness, kind of. So you were
yeah,
also kind of
exactly.
trying
I'm
to
projecting.
let's kind of help Dima feel better. So actually, I do want to feel better, right? Like, I mean, we want to feel better, so we kind
Yeah,
of, yeah.
it is that for sure. It's and there's also, I mean, I hate as much as I hate to admit it, but I've looked at it enough to know there is some ego stuff attached to helping people and like trying to. Not that it's wrong to help. I mean, it's amazing to try to help somebody. It's amazing to love people,
And
care
nothing
for
wrong
people,
with
but like,
ego. Ego is just nature.
yeah, yeah. Without ego, we wouldn't be having this conversation because I wouldn't even know I was
We
innate,
would be.
and you
You
wouldn't
don't
be a
need ego
Dima.
for this conversation. Yeah, yeah. No,
Yeah,
it's just like, do you need butterflies? I mean, it's not like you need them or you don't need them. They're just part of what exists, and ego is part of what exists in human consciousness sometimes as a concept. It doesn't really exist in
yeah,
reality, but it's how we conceptualize the idea of a human being.
yeah. It's a weird subject too because I've studied a lot of Freud and Carl Jung and all these people, and it's like all the thoughts surrounding ego and self and like why we do what we
Yeah.
do, and that's all just like another trap. Even like reading that stuff is like, like it's just
Very
like kind of
fun,
like a
yeah, but
mind
there
game, a
can
word game.
be like so much thinking about that, and like and you can know all of that, and so what, right? It's not that this will somehow give you control over your emotions or whatever, your well-being.
Yeah, yeah. Just wordplay, like we were discussing. It's just
Yeah,
more word games.
yeah, they're fun. I love them.
Me too. Me too.
It's
That's
kind of
like
like, when you talk about, let's say, electrons, right? Are they particles or are they waves, right? But really,
yeah, yeah,
those are just like two words that describe different ways they interact, and we can try to define those things, but they're not even things, right? So, so they are
yeah.
particles and waves and really nothing too. Probabilities.
Yeah, it's all that stuff. It's like we're just trying to describe the undescribable.
Yeah,
It's basically that. I think for myself too, like if it comes around like the to the mental health part of it, it's like I can't really. It's hard to just sit there, you know. It's hard to sit there and not create a story for it because it's almost like that void, that like moment where it does feel it's amazingly peaceful, but something maybe something means broken, but something recently especially is like just sitting alone with that silence is it's either like heaven or hell. Like I can't really describe it. It's either like really
yeah, yeah.
painful
No, I understand what
or
you
it's
mean.
like
Yeah, and when I've
yeah.
done Vipassana, that thing when you meditate in silence for 10 days, that was very difficult because just being with nothing and no ways to distract yourself was really, really hard, because all of those stuff that was not noticed before, how it's felt, it kind of became very visible.
So you're not allowed to like talk, or well, you're allowed to, I guess, if you want to, but like you
No,
don't.
no,
It's
no, you
not like
cannot talk.
it's like
No.
silent, right?
Yeah, yeah. No talking, no listening to music, no reading books, no going outside, nothing, just meditation. And well, a couple of meals a day.
Yeah, I guess don't chew too loudly, or they'll accuse you. They're like, "Hey, you're cheating." Um, I think I want to try that at some point in my life, but I also, I mean, I don't want to like seek it out either. Like if I think if it occurs, like I'm like maybe I'm doing something and it comes up, I would
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
do it, like if it's an
Right.
opportunity. But
Yeah.
I think seeking it out too would make it like would maybe I don't not defeat the purpose because everybody seeks it out and they get a lot out of it, but something about being like, I'm gonna go and just sit there for 10 days in silence, like just that alone, it turns it into another like pursuit or way of changing like what I'm experiencing, I think.
Of
So I
course,
think it would
of
have to be
course.
seem like maybe organic. Yeah.
But I mean, you
Yeah.
cannot
Hmm.
escape that. The pursuit of, trying to find some stuff in the future is totally organic. It's very natural.
Yeah, it's like that's the what is that book? Like The Seekers or the Finders? Was that the book?
The Finders. Yeah, there is a good book that called The
Yeah,
Finders. I love it.
yeah, it's very interesting because it talks about the locations that people are
Yep.
at and
Yep.
kind of like this time and space and the mind and stuff. I thought that was such a good way to describe it, like locations. And
Yeah. I mean,
I,
because basically,
yeah,
so we're talking about the book called The Finders by Jeffrey Martin, right? And the book is about
yeah,
people who become enlightened, quote unquote, and he kind of tries
yeah,
to categorize them in different whatever, and he ended up using the term locations for different clusters of very different experiences, because as it turned out, that enlightenment thing is not a phenomenon of like, here's a normal human, here's enlightened human, but it's more like attempt to describe certain states of human psychology that are different from more common ones. Yeah, it's cool. And actually, I don't remember if we talked about it, right? But uh, after that book, at the end of the book, they advertised their course, and I ended up doing this course some years ago, and it was actually a lot of fun.
maybe I'll try something like that. Yeah, because I've had all these different experiences. Like I've had like what I describe as like awakenings, and then like a week later, you're
Yeah.
just back to your shitty self, and it's like all this stuff, right? Like,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that
of
falls
course.
into that, but it's also part of the process. It's part of it, and it's
Hmm.
good. I mean, you don't just want to live in a state of awakening all the time, because then you wouldn't know the difference. It would just become your new state, and you would eventually, inevitably attempt to change that into something else, I
It's not
think.
a state, and it's not about you changing anything, but it's the disappearance of the idea of you. So, but
Yeah,
yeah.
I had a strong one of those this summer, like real strong.
Hmm.
Everything like, it's like I was this little light bulb in between all these thoughts and shit. Like all this shit was just
Yeah,
like I kind of like saw the thoughts in a weird way. And it's
of
almost like
course.
they became voices, but not like in a crazy, well, fuck it, in a crazy way, maybe fine. But instead of thinking it was me, it's like I started
Mhm.
to see this. I saw that they were arising from kind of thin air, and then
Yes.
like out here, kind of swirling around and then
Hmm.
gone, and then more would
Yeah,
arise and
I'm quite
then
familiar with
gone. It
what you're
was like
describing for sure.
it's crazy,
It is
and I
crazy.
wish
Like,
I would.
when you
I
first
would say I would
encounter it,
suggest
right?
people try it. Yeah,
Wow.
it's
Yeah.
like yeah, it was crazy. I think I kept. I remember just modulating between like laughing and laughing and crying because it
Yeah.
was just like so
Yes.
much and then just like
Oh yeah. It's
hilarious at the
very
same
intense,
time
and
because
also
it's
it's
like whoa,
very
dude.
it's absurd and silly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like everything I would see, I'd look at the clouds or the trees and I would just start crying. And then I would just start laughing at the fact that
Hmm.
I was crying. And then it's just this whole like, I mean, it was pretty beautiful actually. If
Yeah.
my memory of it feels nice, it feels good. Um, I'm not fully
Beautiful and
away from that. It's
intense
just
and
like,
very difficult and very scary. Yeah, in a way.
y- yeah,
Because
like you're
it's
just
very
floating along.
disorienting.
Yeah, I lost sight of like a lot of. I think intentionally went back. I mean, I could say that, but
Yeah.
whatever it is, I I was like, I think I need to make a living again. I don't think this is
Right.
working in terms of like,
Right, right, right. It
yeah,
reminds me
'cause-
of this cartoon. It's like two guys in a room, and one of them obviously is interviewing the other guy, and he's like reading his resume, and I
yeah,
guess it's a job application or whatever, and he says like, "Okay, but what other qualifications do you have besides enlightenment, right?" So it's
yeah,
like it's all fun and dandy, right? And then your organism needs food and it needs resources and all of that. So um,
yeah. And our time's about up because we're trying to keep it shorter. But one last thing
yeah,
I want to say on that point specifically, it reminds me of this thing that Ram Dass used to talk about. It's like he would say like, yeah, I encourage you to seek enlightenment, but also remember your address, some kind of thing along those lines. Like,
right.
yeah, like how you
Yeah.
can't just be like just out there, and you can, but like
Yes.
if you want to also feed yourself and your family and like exist and be able to have like a human interaction, you have to sort of maintain
Yes.
some level of ego, even through your sense of enlightenment or whatever, awakening.
But it's the idea of ego that you can maintain that, right? So it's okay.
Right,
Yeah.
right? Because mine slipped away, and I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was slipping until it was gone, and then it was back before I knew it, and it's like I had
Right.
nothing to do with it. It just happened.
Yeah.
But it happened
So
from
maybe
like
we can
breaking,
end
like
on
hitting.
this. Hey guys, be very safe with your enlightenment, you know.
Be safe with your
So
enlightenment. This has been the Mental Health Podcast. Boom, boom. All right, let me. I've got the button here.